Chris, and this is Critical Insights, the podcast that makes its main host be very, well, vulnerable. On. Let me try that again. Hold on. Okay. Hi, I'm Chris, and this is Critical Insights, the podcast that makes its main host be vulnerable on camera to an astounding degree. Today, we'll be going over the book Fish in a Tree by Linda Moulton Hunt. This book explores the life of Ally Nickerson, a seventh grader, right? Okay. A seventh or sixth grader that's moved schools 7 times in her lifetime, so one for each year. She struggles with dyslexia and possibly dysgraphia, which is a separate thing, but yeah, and is made fun of for not being able to read or write well. She starts to break down and misses school a lot because she hates it that much. Her parents are never around because they have to work constantly. But she has an older brother named Travis that helps her out around the house when her parents aren't home. When the book starts, the teacher is pregnant, and over the weekend, a new teacher comes in, named Mr. Daniels, who sees Allie for who she really is. And helps her manage her dyslexia. She starts to feel less out of place and even makes friends with 2 people, Keisha and Albert, respectively, who also struggle to make friends in school and just struggle in general. By the end of the book, she starts to do better, as in, like, getting her work in closer to on time. That is way too far away. And she's able to stand up for herself by the end of the book, along with not being so, along with not acting out of hatred for school. But before I get to my notes, I want to clarify why Sage isn't here, and that's just because she's out of town for a vacation, wasn't it? Okay, yeah, for vacation, I think. I can't exactly remember. And can't join us, so Damon will be going over her points, and yeah, and his as well. I also want to announce that we have a new scoring system for books, which I'll get to later at the end of my section. But anyway, let's get started. So, before I talk about anything else, I should clarify that this book is a true story based off of the author's struggles with dyslexia. And any issues that I point out relating the representation of dyslexia is out of generalization from what I can tell. And not her getting research wrong, as, again, it's very... Yeah, because it's based off of her own story. But with that out of the way, let me just get right into my other points. So, first off, with respect to Mr. Daniels, I relate to Allie's, whole arc with him, and just like Mr. Daniels being just generally a helpful guide. Because, like, my previous teachers, 6th, 8th, and 9th grade have, those were the years I said, that have helped me out in various ways. 6th grade just being there for me and supporting me through numerous, just, I guess, instances of discrimination, I'll call it, because of a thing I'll get to later on. Um, eighth, yeah, one of my teachers was just a great teacher in general. Helped me get into writing, and I guess so subsequently this whole podcast. Um, and ninth grade, same thing. Just extended what my eighth grade teacher did. I will not be pointing out names just for anonymity's sake, but yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to say like how much I relate to that point of Allie's arc. Sorry for these mispronunciations. But the actual book itself, I only have really read the first part because I didn't find an ebook in time for recording this. So, aside from that, I read like the first 40 pages that were available on Google Books as preview. So, so all of this is based off that. But the first part of the book, I feel really does well with world building and like, getting you to like the character, because believe me, I almost teared up whilst trying to record that, or no, not record this. Sorry, while like reading the book for this episode. But yeah, and yeah, so I really like that, and just how, like, I guess effortlessly cleanly it sets up the world. Like, there is no expo dumping. But yeah, the only thing I will say about it is it doesn't really give a time. But I mean, not all books have that. I just happen to prefer that. I mean, my books do that too, not where they don't have time, where they do have the time specifically indicated, kind of like a journal. But anyway, but with the other kids, this girl named, what was it? Boy, whatever. I don't know which kid it was in the book, but they held a grudge over Allie for 4 years over a bag of chips. Like, what? like how, for 4 years, how does that happen? Like, because you'd think from, like, 2nd grade to 6th grade, there'd be, a lot of development. So how does a grudge stay that long unless someone has actually done something really severe to you? Like, how? I just don't understand. And this isn't set, like, nowadays. This is set, like, back when the author was in school. So, I think, at least. I don't know, that's what I infer. But, but it feels more like it's set in modern times with all of the, with just, like, kids from, like, nowadays. I guess, is the best way to say this. But otherwise, the character development, especially of Allie, seems to be really realistic from what I've seen of Sage's notes. Seems to be pretty realistic, which, I mean, I hope it is, because, it's talking about, like it's supposed to be relatable in some way to, dyslexic kids, adults, etc. At least from, again, what I can gather. So that's a plus. And and in the first part of the book, this is, I believe, chapter 2. Allie gives her former teacher, Miss Hall, a sympathy card when she's pregnant. But issue is, like, yes, as bad as that is, why did Miss Hall freak out so much over this? Like, I get it's offensive, but why would you not just assume? Because this is sixth grade. Why would you not assume they still didn't know? Especially like, if they're neurodivergent, which dyslexia is a part of the neurodivergent umbrella. But, like, why would you not assume that if you could probably tell? Maybe she couldn't tell. I'm not sure, but still, it's just weird. Like, I don't hate that. Like, I don't hate the book for that or anything. In fact, I don't spoil anything, but I do like it. But just like, why would she not immediately assume that? And yeah, Allie didn't know that was the case. That a sympathy card was, offensive in terms of pregnancy. Like, Allie didn't know that. I think I can't remember what the contents of the card were, but yeah, I think, yeah, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, like, still, like, give these kids some grace. Like, just kids in general, but still kids. Well, unless you're, but not too much grace, but that's a whole different thing. And my final point, is just that, yeah, dyslexia falls under the neurodivergent umbrella. But because of that, it also, like, is, again, more relatable to me. Like, because I, relate some aspects of her arc and character, like struggling in school with teachers who didn't understand me. My computer lab teacher in sixth grade, but I digress. But like, I'm autistic. I'm not dyslexic, but still, I just again want to emphasize, like, I guess how much I relate to this. So personally, I myself would give it an 8 out of 10. Just my personal opinion of what I know of the book. But for the scoring system I talked about a couple minutes ago, so it's divided into 6 categories. They are writing, dialogue, theme or message, characters, world building, and just miscellaneous. So I give the writing an 8 out of 10. The dialogue a 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. And the way I score things is definitely non-standard. As in, like, 8.5 is usually the highest I go, because, like, 9 plus feels signals overwhelming to me. It's weird, but like 7 still means it's pretty good, is my point. Yeah. Then theme, an 8 out of 10. Characters, a 7 out of 10. Just because, like, I mean, some of them are just, like, again, holding a grudge 4 years over Allie stealing a bag of chips. Like, what? But I do give the world building a 9 out of 10, and just other stuff like relatability, like everything else about the book, just a general 7 out of 10. Which overall is a 46 out of 60. Or basically just like a 7.6, 7.5 out of 10 for the whole book if I'm looking more objectively. But with that said, let's move on to Damon's notes. Sorry, I assume we have to switch in.
why I hate this book and it's garbage. First of all, this book is unrealistic, okay? This book is unrealistic in many regards due to many factors. One of the largest implausibilities of this book is the sheer fact that the main character got to the 6th grade without a single teacher knowing if she couldn't read, nor her parents knowing if she could read. This is entirely impossible. 2 times a year, starting as soon as kindergarten, children are given a reading comprehension test. 2 times a year, every year, starting in kindergarten. They would know nay upon instantly if she was incapable of reading. Another incomprehensibly and unrealistic thing about this is children that are this stereotypically bullyish. They do not exist this stereotypically bullyish. Children do bully other children. That is a fact of children. They are just cruel cesspools of humans. Okay, that's what a child is, but they are not open about it. We warn them about bullying so much that they know they shouldn't be directly bullying them. They make offhanded comments like saying just rude things without, I mean, it's a game to them, honestly, how rude they can be without getting caught. But they aren't this unrealistically rude as they are saying in this book. Another thing is these teachers are incompetent. The sheer ineptitude of some of these teachers. Okay, if a child was to be bullied in this way in front of a class, a teacher would stop it instantly. They don't. They don't care. It's like, oh, haha, that child just got bullied. Who cares? I mean, that leads into the second topic I'm going to be going over, incompetence. This world created by Hunt is truly filled with incompetence. If the things that are unbelievable were to happen, the sheer ineptitude of everyone in this world would be inconceivable. It would mean that all of her teachers that she essentially neglected to do, all the teachers that she's ever had since kindergarten have neglected to do their jobs, which include the reading tests, that her parents never taught her anything isn't to read, that she's never had to read anything on a menu. Did she never go out to eat? How did she live life? You can't read. You can't live life without reading, essentially. So, yeah, if you can't read in some form or anything, then people are going to know. Nobody is not going to know. It's, oh, she can't read? It's like, oh, yeah, she's just a little bit daft in the brain. I don't know. We don't know how she didn't know how to read, but we know. But, no, they don't know. They just don't know. They're like, oh, you can't read? No, how did we not know this? I mean, yeah. It's just sheer ineptitude. You physically couldn't get to this point in life without not knowing how to read. Another thing, this would mean that the teachers have never assigned any assignments that include any reading at all, ever, until she's in sixth grade, or she just failed all of her assignments. Yeah. I mean, I guess an option too. I guess would she? I don't know if she. Do people still get held back? I don't even know, but I feel like she would be held back.
Yeah, but even then,
I mean, when this book was written, I feel like they would have held back children, and they would have. She wouldn't have been able to get to 6th grade without being held back for failing every single one of her classes for not knowing how to read. This is just sheer ineptitude. That's what also means teachers don't teach the curriculum correctly. Who knows what those teachers are teaching? I'm gonna be honest. They didn't teach how to read. They didn't apply the reading tests that they were required by law to do 2 times a year. And they just didn't assign any homework or assignments. So what did these teachers do? I don't know. They might have taught her math. They might have done that. They never reported the bullying, or they never told other children to report bullying because she didn't report the bullying that was happening to her. And they, even still, we're in high school, and I'm pretty sure I've seen, tell us if they're bullying you, we can fix it. Tell a trusted adult if you're being bullied. No, nobody told them in the world. Oh, yeah, but what was it?
Yeah, and I have before, this year with one of our classmates, who I won't name because but I still did that with them.
Yeah, since kindergarten, to probably be starting in preschool, since they know how to talk, it's like, if you're being beat up, tell us. Okay, it's like they're gonna know if the child's being beaten up, mentally, of course, and probably physically. So overall, Either every school she ever went to needs to be shut down for an ineptitude of all the staff, or this is just incompetence on the writer's end for neglecting to acknowledge this. So, conclusion. To quote a conclusion in my section, of course, to quote a wise Goodreads viewer, quote, very bad, very dookie, also dungus, end quote. Alrighty. Now, time to go over Sage's notes. Yippee. Alright. So, number one, this dyslexia representation is inaccurate. Stuff like letters being backward, inaccurate with letters being backwards and things like that, but it is accurate in the way that it depicts struggling. Yeah. Number two, it is very realistic with middle school struggles and people. It is realistic in some regards. It's bullying. The book is, as I stated earlier, completely and plausibly inaccurate and unrealistic. Different emotions are explored throughout the book that will help the reader understand Allie's character. Another thing is, Allie's character development is amazing. She starts off being a badly behaved student with no motivation to make new friends, stay kind, and end off by, with motivation. They have friends, they stay kind, and they're doing well in school projects and being one of the smartest students. Quote, everyone is smart in different ways. End quote, Mr. Daniels. This is so true. Just because others are smarter at different things that you don't understand doesn't mean you're stupid, just incompetent. She had the bully's no motivation to be a bully. She bullies Allie just because Allie stole her chips in 2nd grade. Like, if you're going to add a bully, just give better reason on why they bully the main character. I mean, yeah, it's not okay. If you steal someone's chips in 2nd grade, that person's gonna be after you for life now. That's what this book is trying to teach children, obviously. Because are they trained to teach children that they should be a bully if someone steals their chips? That's a pretty serious offense. Don't get me wrong, but another thing is this book is all about goals. It's great to teach little kids about setting goals and working to achieve them. Another thing is this book is real and relates to a lot of people who struggle with learning disabilities, bullying, and trying to fit in. Just because it's inept at displaying some of these things, like the sheer quantity of bullying and the sheer stereotypicalness of the bullying, doesn't mean that it's not true. This is a great depiction of bullying, and it's like a what's the word? Announcement to children. I don't know. There's a word for it. Yeah, it's a PSA to children, like, bullies are mean, you gotta watch out for those things.
Yeah, they do all the time in school.
Exactly. And then, let's see. Lots of themes are being explored in this book. Everybody is perfect in their own way. May not be good at something, but that doesn't make you just stupid, and trying over again will eventually let you achieve your goals. Don't judge a book by its cover. It is a great theme in this book that's portrayed throughout the entire thing. It's a very good book for people that have a good imagination. Sage says it's an 8 out of 10. I say it's like a 2 out of 10. Did you say what a 10 out of 10? Or what out of 10? Do you? No, you have a different...
I said like 8 for my own personal score and like 7.6.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just biased, so... Alright, well... That's going to be concluding this episode of Critical Insights, I think. Unless I'm missing anything. Are we missing anything? All right, that is the conclusion to Critical Insights, Episode 5. And goodbye.